Hi guys, I am back with another book related video. I am Catherine and today I'm gonna be going over my November TBR, and this one is gonna be a very big TBR. I'm reading 3 different authors and it's gonna be 3 different series. So one's gonna be from Karin, one's going to be from Lisa Gardner, and one is going to be from Dot Hutchison. As you guys know, I read The Butterfly Garden, and there is 3 more books in that series, and I wanted to read them. So I decided this one is going to be 3 different book series. And I'm going to be reading a bunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 books. So let's get started. The first 3 are going to be by Dot Hutchison, and this one is going to be The Roses of May, and I've already started reading it, which was really amazing. I've read about 93 pages and I love it so far. It's really good. So it is about the 3 agents. It's about Mercedes, Brian Edison, and Victor Hanoverian. And it takes place, I want to say, a couple months after The Butterfly Garden. And you find out what happens with some of the butterflies. And it also takes place with a new case. This other character, it's mother and daughter character, she lost her sister, I want to say a couple years ago when she was 12, and she talks to Brian Edison. All 3 of them are very close to her, and every spring there is another girl that was murdered, and it's a serial killer, and they are trying to figure out how to stop him, trying to figure out who is doing all of this killing. He only kills once a year in spring. It's always a girl, and she's always surrounded by flowers. So I'm really loving this book so far. It's really hard to put it down. So that's my first one. And then the second one, it is by the same author, and it is The Summer Children. This one is about Agent Mercedes Ruiz. She finds an abandoned little boy on her porch covered in blood, and he says that a guardian angel saved him and dropped him off here and killed his parents. And all of these children have one thing in common, is that they have been abused in some way, and it keeps happening. There's, what else does it say? And so after that, another child comes onto her porch, pretty much saying the same thing. They're all young and they're all extremely traumatized. I'm kind of excited to read this one too, so I just can't wait. And then the last one in this series, it is The Vanishing Season by Dot Hutchison. And this one has to do with Brian Edison. If you guys haven't read The Butterfly Garden, this one is going to be a little bit more complicated to explain, just because it kind of has a spoiler for The Butterfly Garden. So if you haven't watched this one, or if you haven't read The Butterfly Garden, and I would kind of skip over this video or this part into the next one. Brian Edison's little sister went missing a couple years ago, and this book has to do with that case. And a lot of other little girls have been missing, and him and his partner are trying to figure out who is kidnapping these girls and how is it connected to his sister. Okay, and then the next series of books, there is 6, and it is by Karin. It is the Grant County Thriller series, And the first one is Blindsided, and it takes place in a small Georgia town called Hartsdale, and it has a cast of characters: Sarah Lanton, who is a coroner, and she is also a pediatrician in town, so she has two jobs. And then her ex-husband, Jeffrey Tolliver, who is the chief for the police department, and Lena Adams, whose sister was murdered, and she's also a detective, and she tries to figure out what happened to her sister, but Jeffrey is trying to keep Lena out of it because he doesn't want her involved. He wants her to grieve her sister's death, but Lena will not have it, and Sarah is just trying to help in any way she can. She was the one to find her sister bleeding to death in a bathroom stall, and the sister is blind. The next one is called Kisscut by Karin, and this one is about the same group of characters. All of these books have all the same characters in it. This one, they're at a skating rink, and a teenager pulls a gun, and Jeffrey has to shoot her in order to save another person. And as time goes on, there's been another young girl that's been taken, and they are trying to link the two cases together, and they're trying to figure out what is going on. And it says, meanwhile, Detective Lena Adams, recovering from a personal loss, finds herself drawn to a young man who might hold the answers. But unless Lena, Sarah, and Jeffrey can uncover the dark truth, someone will die again. And then the third book is called A Faint Cold Fear. And this one takes place on a college campus in the same town with the same group of characters, and it is a rash of students' suicides, but they later find out it's not suicide, it's murder. So now they are trying to stop whoever is doing it, and they fear that they might not be able to. This other one, this is the fourth book, and this one takes place in the police station when two armed men come in and they shoot up the place, and police chief Jeffrey Tolliver gets hit, and Sarah is trying to keep him alive and stable until they can get help. But however, she is trapped, and she is one of the hostages, and she has to figure a way out to escape and to figure out why they are doing this, even if it involves her and Jeffrey's past. The fifth book is called Faithless, and this one, it is again with the same cast of characters. It's in the same place. This one takes place in the Georgia woods, where Sarah and Jeffrey stumble on a body, and it is a young woman who they believe was murdered, and they want to figure out what happened to her, and what else? They try to figure out what happened to her, and they want to basically know if there's going to be more bodies that are going to be dropped. The final one, it is called Beyond Reach, and takes place with the same cast of characters, so Lena, Sarah, and Jeffrey. So this one, Sarah is fighting a malpractice suit, and Lena has been accused of murder, and Jeffrey is trying to help. And Sarah and Jeffrey, even though she has a lot of stuff going on and she doesn't really care for Lena, she is trying to help Jeffrey figure out who framed Lena. And this is Beyond Reach by Karin. And then the next cast of books, it is by Lisa Gardner, and her series is called, that I'm going to be reading, is the FBI Profiler series. And the first book is called The Perfect Husband. And it is about a woman named Tess, and she married a decorated police officer who turns out to be a serial killer. And she had one child with him, and Tess helped the police put her husband behind bars, but he broke out, and now he is looking for revenge for what she has done. And in order to protect herself and potentially protect her daughter, Tess seeks help from one ex-Marine, PJ Dillon. And I'm kind of looking forward to reading this one. The next book, is called The Third Victim, and this one has the same character that was in the first one, which was Pierce Quincy. And this one, it has him in it again, but this one, he's more of a main character. And it also has Rainey Connor in it. And this one is about, it takes place in Oregon, where there's a school shooting just happened, and one person was shot. The other one was killed, and they're trying to figure out what happened, why it happened. So that's why Pierce is there, and he, there were some, how do I put this? There were some mistakes that were made. One officer went in by himself, which he wasn't supposed to, and then she was supposed to be in charge, and then just a lot of other stuff happened. So Pierce is there just basically trying to help her make sense of it, and basically that's what it's about. And I'm looking forward to reading this one. The third one is called The Next Accident, and it has Pierce, Rainey, and Kimberly, which is Pierce's daughter. And his oldest daughter, Amanda, was killed in a car accident where she was drinking and driving. But however, he doesn't think that is the whole story. So he hires Rainey to help him figure out what happened if there was another person in the car. She eventually figures it out that there was. And that's when all hell breaks loose. And they find out that someone is coming after his youngest daughter, Kimberly, so they want to get her out and somewhere safe. The fourth book, it is called The Killing Hour, and this one takes place with Kimberly Quincy. She is in the FBI Academy, and she is basically trying to put what happened in the last book behind her and start something new and just try to pick up her life, basically. And then as she was running through an obstacle course, they find a body, and her father was called in to help figure out what happened. And it turns out there is a serial killer on the loose who uses the elements and leaves clues to find the next victim, and they don't. And it is really hard because clues have to do with environments, big areas that are hard to find the person. There's also a new character. He is a state trooper. His name is Mac, which is going to be kind of fun to read. The next book is called Gone, and this one takes place again with Pierce, Rainey, and Kimberly, and Mac. And this one, Rainey has gone missing, and Pierce is worried, so they're trying to find where she went. And along with Rainey, a little boy has gone missing, and they're trying to figure out if the two cases are separate or if they're together, and they're hoping to find her alive. The next one, it is called Say Goodbye. And this one takes place, actually, it has the same group of characters, but this one, the main character is Kimberly, Mac, and then Quincy and Rainey come in a little bit later to help her with the investigation, but she is officially an agent, and she is 5 months pregnant, and she has to figure out why prostitutes have been disappearing, and she has a feeling it's a serial killer, but there are no bodies to prove it, basically. So she's trying to figure out what's happening. She's been getting all these weird phone calls, and these phone calls are so graphic, and it comes out it's a lot worse than she thought. And the next and final book, it is right behind you, and this one, it takes place with Quincy and Rainey and their adopted daughter Shaylia, who 13 years ago, her brother murdered their father, trying to protect both of them. And since then, Shay has not seen her brother. And then all of a sudden, in a gas station, her brother is killing again. So Rainey and Quincy are trying to figure out why, and they're trying to figure out if it is as it seems. And this is my final book for this November TBR. And as always, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments down below and I will answer them. As always, you guys have a great and safe day. Bye.